Hello everyone, it's Moran aka Starseed Tarot. Welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a virtual response to one of the tags that is currently quite popular on the TarotTube scene, and is the mid-year tarot tag. So it's by Channel Days. She started it, and I will put uh, her details in the description box below. But I thought I would jump on the tag. I've seen other people doing it, and I was like, yes, I'm gonna do it. So it's a tag that is about 12 prompts. There's only one prompt that I'm not doing, and it's the last one, the number 12, which is your favorite video of 2024 so far. And because I don't have one, I thought I would not include it. So mine will only be 11 prompts, and it will be related to all the decks. But yeah, so the first prompt is the most deck used so far. For those who know me, you will know this, but obviously that will be my Light Seers. So that's the deck I take with me in this little coffee shop that I do tarot readings once or twice a month. I'm gonna just show you the cards, but everyone knows this deck. But yeah, that's the deck I use the most. I always use this one, and I also have the mini version. So what I usually do in my readings is I pull 3 cards, and then I use the minis to clarify a little bit the cards that we just pulled. So I have both the standard and mini version. So mine is in this bag that I've had for now. I've had it for years. So yeah, since it came out mass market, I basically have this deck. So this is the deck I use the most, but I also wanted to include another one that I use also in conjunction with that, because I try to like use different decks in when I go to the shop, just so it's a little bit of a variation for customers but also for me. And I only use this one, which is the Centennial traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. You've probably all seen this deck as well, but that's also one that I use all the time. So that's another one that I take with me at this shop where I do my readings. So I will decide on the night before. I will be like, which one do I want to take? I'm not gonna try to put it back inside now because it's quite tight and difficult sometimes. But anyways, the night before I go to this shop, I'm like, do I want to take my Light Seers or do I want to take my Centennial? And I decide like this. But these are the two ones that I use the most in 2024 so far. The second prompt is a new deck that came in your collection, and I literally received this last week, and it's the Keymaster Tarot. I absolutely love this deck. I think it's going to be a deck that I will use a lot. I will end up using a lot because it's a deck that combines Rider-Waite-Smith. So the majors are illustrated, all illustrated pretty close to the Rider-Waite-Smith, meaning the court cards are also illustrated. And then for the minors, you only have like the playing cards, but you also have some symbols. So you have sometimes the Marseille. So you can see here, for example, the gold that is embossed there is Marseille style. So here is the Two of Swords, for example, and that's when you look at the Marseille decks, that will be how it's depicted. So I love this deck. I love the fact that it's done this way. So here you have the 8 of Cups or the 8 of Hearts. And yeah, I just love the way it's done. It's also, you can see all the geometric figures, and I just find it so intriguing, and so, it's almost like mystical in a way. I don't know. I just love this deck. I think it's very nice, and it's also very good production quality. That these are the backs. So again, gold embossed. So it's published by a company. It's published by AGM, and I think it's a company based in Germany. So yeah, again, quality is very good. And yeah, I just love this deck. I ordered a wrap as well for this deck. And usually when I order a wrap for a deck, it's because I really like the deck. So that's the one for the second prompt. Then number 3 is most anticipated deck. So I don't have it because obviously it's anticipated, but I do have the tarot deck. So the one that I'm looking for to get is the Familiar Field Oracle, which is by the same artist than the Field Tarot, and it's Anna Elizabeth Fofana. So if you haven't seen this deck, I just love the artwork. It's just very sweet. These are the backs. It's very sweet. It's very pastel colors are very beautiful. It's peepish if you don't really like peeps decks, as you can see. But I like this deck. There's also a keyword for the miners or the court card. So here, for example, the King of Discs, you have power. So the keywords can help. They are not necessarily you don't have to use them, but I like this because most of the keywords on the cards are keywords that I associate with the meaning of the card. So here, for example, Six of Swords transition, and it's exactly how I read the Six of Swords. But anyway, I will try to put a picture on the screen of the Familiar Field Oracle, but basically that's an oracle that will have animals on them, and that will be the same art style as this, so it will be the perfect pairing for this deck, which I like. And it's also a good animal deck because you will have the animals, but instead of having the animal and then underneath the animal name, which is not useful for an oracle deck, you will have 3 keywords. Like on the deck there is one keyword. On this oracle deck there will be 3 keywords. So that's going to be very interesting, and as soon as I knew it was going to be published mass market, again by US Games. I think this one is by US Games as well. So I was like so impatient when because this was the Oracle was a Kickstarter, but it was a bit too expensive because it was from the US. So I was almost paying as much for the deck as for the shipping, and was like, I'm not going to do that, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be picked up mass market because the deck was picked up mass market. So I waited a couple of months, and then Anna Elizabeth Fofana said on her Instagram page that it will be picked up mass market and it will be by US Games. So it's released in the 1st of September, and I cannot wait. But yes, that's the Oracle deck accompanying this, which is called the Familiar Field Oracle. So now we have for prompt 4, we have biggest disappointment so far. So it's going to be 3 decks, and I'm going to explain why. I still like the decks. I'm just disappointed in the way it's been marketed and the way it's been sold to us when there's inconsistencies into the production quality. So they are together. So these ones came in my collection this year. This one I've had it for about 5 years, I would say, or 4 years when it came out. This one is the most recent one, and then we have this one. So this one came first, then we had this one that came second, and this one that came last. Okay, so the way it's been sold to us, at least for this one, which is the latest, is that this one will be basically, we will be able to merge the 3 to make a super deck, like Kyle Gray likes to say. He likes to say that you can combine the decks to make a super deck. Okay, so you will have, depending on the reading, depending on what you're asking, you will have either a message from an archangel or an angel or a divine master. Okay, so which one do you feel like which one is needed for you to come out? The thing is, you cannot really put them together. You can, but also you cannot, and also for different reasons. So this is the angel guide. So obviously the artwork, I'm gonna show you the artwork, and it's going to look the same, obviously, because it's the same artist. So both of all of these decks, the 3 decks, are by the same artist, by Jez or Jennifer Hawkyard. So you will not see a lot of discrepancy. Oh, I can't say this word. Anyway, you get it. In the artwork, okay, because it will look the same because it's the same artist. So you will have here the Archangel, which is an amazing deck. It's only 22 cards, but it's also very cheap. It's less than £10, so you know, not too bad. And then you have this one, so you can see, like, you know, it's kind of the same artwork. And then you have even this one that is even more similar to this, where it's kind of the same artwork again. Okay, so why is a disappointment? It's because it says that it's meant to be used together or to be combined together to make a super deck, which I don't have a problem with the fact that, for example, these ones look a little bit more like different from this in terms of like the artwork. The problem comes from the fact that, first of all the backs are different. Okay, so you couldn't really combine them together because you will know which cards is which in the deck, which is not so much of a problem. But still, I would have liked to have the same backs for all of them. That would have made sense if the purpose of it was to combine them. Okay, now the second issue I have is that this one is on a glossy cardstock. This one is on a glossy cardstock, but this one is on a matte cardstock. And it's no big deal, but why? Why is it not all glossy cardstock, and why is it not all the same backs? You know, I guess it's because maybe people don't want to use it as a big deck and they will get confused, or, you know, I don't know the reason, but I would have loved for this to be glossy, because you can see the difference here. You can see it's glossy, and especially here, you know, like they are the same kind of way Jez has done the artwork, but one is glossy and one is matte and one is glossy. And I just think it's a bit disappointing. I would have loved that they're all glossy and they all have the same backs, or at least similar backs. You know, well, this one is kind of similar to this one, but this one is completely different. You know, I would have loved that all of them were more cohesive if the purpose of them was to be combined. And because of this, it's my biggest disappointment, because I don't know if it's been sold to us as a last minute thought. You know, they were like, oh, I wanted to include 22 Archangel in my last deck and I didn't have time, so let's make it so we can sell it as a super deck and say that it needs to be combined with all of them. I don't know what happened, but it's quite, I was disappointed that these were not all the same, at least the same cardstock, and it would have been even better with the same backs. But yeah, that's the disappointing story of this deck. So I still like them because they can be used independently of each other, but I must admit I would have loved to have like a super deck that I could take with me for all my readings. And, you know, I have a super deck that, you know, all the cards you don't really know what you're gonna get, and it's going to be either a Divine Master that comes for you, an Archangel, or just an Angel, you know. And it's just, yeah, it's just me. But that's my biggest disappointment, and I don't have any other disappointment. I didn't order much decks this year so far, so all the decks, and I don't know if I changed, but all the decks that I've purchased this year so far, I'm happy with them. And I think it's also because I pay more attention to what I buy now. So nowadays I don't just impulse buy anymore. I just pay attention to what I buy, because otherwise it stays on my shelves. I never use it, and then I have difficulties to sell it or give it away to someone. So yeah, I just pay attention to what I buy. The fifth prompt is biggest surprise of 2024, and this is not a new deck, so it's not a deck that has been produced or published in 2024, but it's a deck that I acquired in 2024, and that was a surprise for me. I didn't expect I would be so attached to this deck, but this is the Archangel Power Tarot. So that's the original one by Doreen Virtue and Radleigh Valentine. I bought it from a shop that was closing down in the UK, and they made it super cheap. Because this now, if you want to find it with the actual Doreen Virtue name, it's quite a lot of money. But I wanted the original one because I was watching a YouTuber, a tarot reader on YouTube using these, and I was like, oh, they are amazing, and I wanted to find the you know the original ones. So I did. This deck is still available now with only Radleigh Valentine's name. I think there are some modification on the cards, but I'm not sure because I don't have it, so I can't confirm or deny. But yeah, that's a very 90s. Why is there so many upside down? 90s kind of like this type of old angel decks that, why is it all upside down? I don't understand. Anyways, but I love this deck, because you have the suits obviously, and then you have a little bit of a paragraph really that you can read to people, and I love that. And even you have it for the major arcana, but with the major arcana you even have like an archangel. So obviously the images are very like cheesy 90s old type of angel thing, but it's a deck now that I always use, always take with me in this shop where I do my tarot readings, and it's always been on point, always with the right message for the right people at the right time. It's just an amazing deck really. So yes, Doreen Virtue, maybe she's controversial, but she did some good decks, and this one is one of them. So that was my biggest surprise for 2024, because at first I was like, well, I'm not gonna really use it much. I just like it because I've seen it on some tarot reader using it, and I was like, I want it, I like it. But it's actually now became a deck that I always take with me. I never part with it when I go to do my readings at the shop. It's the deck. This deck is always with me, so I always take it. Number 6, the prompt number 6, deck crush, a deck you're in love with, and at the minute is the Wayseeker Tarot. So I bought a pouch for it. So as I told you, like if I like a deck, it has its own tarot bag. So this is a nice tarot bag. All the tarot bags I buy from the same person, which I will also link in the description box below if you're interested. But that's the Wayseeker Tarot, and that's again an amazing deck. It's peepish, but at the same time, it's there are some illustrations. Okay, so it's not like complete peeps. It's not lazy peeps. It's peeps with feelings, like some people in the community say. Like for example, here we have the Nine of Cups, and we have all the treasure and the lamp, which is the wish. So. And I just like the size. I just like the art. These are the bags. I like the size of it because it's smaller, so it's easier to shuffle for me because I have tiny hands. And yeah, I just like the coloration. I like that it's like grayed out a little bit, like ancient vintage style, but then you have a lot of colors that pop. I like that you have like a color scheme running through the court cards. And yeah, I just love this deck. I think it's amazing. Yeah, I just like it. And again, I like the fact that it's tiny, so it's not traditional tarot size. I think it's smaller. But yeah, I like this deck, and that's the current one that I'm in love with. I like the colors, I like the cardstock, and again, I think it was by US Game, this one. So again, US Game did a lot of great release this year, and this is one of them, and that's the deck I'm in love with at the minute. So that's the prompt number 6, and it's a deck crush or a deck you're in love with, and that's this one. Now number 7 is your favorite tower card. So my favorite tower card is from another deck that was published by US Game and that you may have seen in my previous video, and it's by the Old Style Tarot. And I will explain you why. There's one card in particular that struck me in this deck, and there's a lot of cards that are beautiful. This deck is absolutely amazing. But I came across the Four of Swords in this deck. And the Four of Swords, I usually read it as needing to take a rest, needing to take a break, needing to, have take a little bit of a break, okay? But this card, when I saw it, because of the way it's depicted, it's almost like we see people like, you know, at it's almost like before the burying of someone, a soldier, and now the soldier can rest because he's finished his battle and he has won the battle, but now people have to bury him because he won the battle, but he didn't come back alive from it. But this card made me think, instead of seeing it as you need to take a break, maybe it's a representation of something needs to be put to rest, so some kind of old battles, some kind of old grudges that you need to put to rest. You need to make it to put a stop to it, and so it gave me a different interpretation of the Four of Swords that for years I've been reading the same way. And because I saw this card now, I will also have this instinct of reading it at maybe you don't need a break, but maybe something needs to be put to rest. So whether it's an old relationship, an old grudge, anything like this, because at the end of the day, the Four of Swords is also coming after the Three of Swords, and the Three of Swords is grieving, is painful experiences that are heartbreaking and you need to get over. And maybe that's the depiction of this. You need to put everything, the hurt, the pain, the grudge, to rest. And that's why it's my favorite card of that I've seen so far in 2024 of any decks that are acquired. Obviously, again, there's plenty of beautiful cards in this deck, and there's plenty of beautiful cards in other decks. But so far in 2024, that's my favorite card that I've seen. So that was the Old Style Tarot. So now we are in prompt 8, and it's a deck that makes you happy. And the deck that makes me happy is obviously the Dog Tarot. It's so cute, it's so playful, it's colorful, it's so cute. And obviously, because I have a dog, I have a border collie, it just makes me happy, it makes me think of my dog, and it makes me think of dogs' behavior, because even if, like, I like this card as well, it's very playful, as I said, and the only cat we see in this dog is the devil, which makes me laugh. But yeah, it's like this is positions that my dog does, and it's just, even if all the breeds are represented in this deck, it's just all dogs kind of have the same type of behavior, so it's just like, yeah, it's so cute. Like, even like the dog looking back, Oreo does all that all the time when we walk. And sometimes it just remembers, oh, I'm not alone. I'm with my owner. So it just looks at me and check if I'm okay, if I'm following. And it's just so funny, And this is the same, is Oreo destroying his toys and putting all the fluff around in the house, and it's just like everything reminds me of my dog, even though it's a different breed. but everything reminds me of my dog, so it makes me very happy, this deck. So will I use it? I don't know. Will I ever use it? I don't really know, but do I like it, and am I happy to have it? I am, because it makes me happy. So yes, that's the dog tarot. So now we're going to look at the prompt number 9, and it's the most beautiful deck you got this year. And the most beautiful deck I got this year is the by a lot, like there's not even comparison possible, is Voldemort's Carnival of Soul. So that's a deck that I bought for myself for my birthday, and it's just such an experience. So you receive this, again, it's published by US Games. US Games have smashed it so far in 2024. Honestly, all the decks that they came out with, so we have the Old Style Tarot, we have the Wayseeker Tarot, we have this one. They've also done plenty of others that I don't have, but they are amazing. So we have this one, and they're also going to do the one that I'm anticipating for 2024. So again, they smashed it. So yeah, we have this. It's an experience. You receive this beautiful thing there, like, you know, with this kind of like copper embossing, and it's everywhere. And then you receive a hardcover book, again embossed with this kind of copper thing. You receive a ticket, like a almost like if you were going to the circus, sorry, sometimes I can't speak, the circus. You were going to the circus and you were giving your tickets, you know, it's an admission ticket, admit one, so it's for one. And yeah, I will use it as a bookmark for this book, because this book is actually a story. So it's the story of the Voldemort's Carnival of Souls. Then you have the guidebook, a guidebook there that you know, that you have the backstory of the characters, and then the interpretation. And again, you have this beautiful embossing in this copper type of color. The deck is edged in this beautiful green. You don't have many cards. I think you have about 30 or something cards, but honestly, they are all so pretty. So you can see here you have this green embossing there, and it's throughout all the cards. So I'm not gonna do a flip through of this, but just to show you a little bit, this beautiful, and it's on the kind of linen. It's kind of linen, but you can see the linen bit, but it's also like almost like there's a plastic finish on it. So it's just so pretty. It's gonna be so good to fan, because let's have a try. Actually, let's have a try, because it's so, yeah, you see, it finds so well, it finds so easily, because it's a different type of material, and it's, yeah, I don't know, it's just the production quality of this deck is just incredible, and that's definitely the most beautiful deck I got in 2024. So that's this. That's the Voldemort's Carnival of Soul. That's by Matt Hughes. That is done the Ethereal Visions Tarot, and the Luna version of this as well. And then the 10th prompt is, what deck do you want by the end of the year? So I've already said I want the Field Animal Oracle, like the familiar Field Oracle, which again, I will try to put a picture, but I also want the playing card for the Field Tarot. So not the Field Tarot, sorry, the Keymaster Tarot, which I showed you at the beginning, because the artist, so is by Stockholm 17. I mean, it's not his real name, Stockholm 17, but it's his handle on Instagram. Let me see if there is the actual Lorenzo Gaggiotti. So he also created playing cards that look like this, okay? So that have this style. So why do I want the playing cards if I already have the tarot deck? is because, as I said with the Light Seers Tarot, I like to have like a big version and then a smaller version for clarifying, okay? Just because it makes it look better and less messy on the table. So yes, there won't be the major arcana, but I still want the minors and the court cards in this style with playing cards, so I can clarify with this deck. I can use this deck and clarify with the playing cards. So that's also something that I want. Again, I will try to put pictures. It's been out of stock, and I think the reprinting is in July, so it's coming up. So I'm super excited for that. And yeah, that's another one that I want. And the last one is, which deck hasn't been used yet, but you want to work with this year? And they come together, and one of them is the Stretch Tarot. So I've had this for years and I never used it. So I'm just going to show you. It's by a UK creator. It's a collage art deck that use kind of vintage pictures and then some kind of collage art. So it's a very beautiful deck, and I got this deck thinking, there's also keywords there, thinking I will do some kind of like ancestral work, or like past life readings, which I still intend to do. But I think for past life readings, I will try to use a different deck than this one. I will have to find a different deck. I'm thinking maybe the Nightweight Tarot for past life readings, but I want to use this deck in conjunction with this deck. And why is because I want to try to see if I can somehow connect to people that have passed away, and start doing readings like this where I connect with people that have passed away. And I can use this deck as the framework, let's say, and then I can use this to have a little bit more details using both the imageries but also the knowledge of tarot. So that's something I want to try to get into. So if you don't know this deck, this is again a deck that is using some kind of vintage image. And yeah, I kind of want to use this deck in conjunction to that and try to get messages from people that are not from this physical world anymore. But we'll see how it goes. That's something I want to do this year. I've been thinking about it for quite a while. So I think I just need to find some volunteers really. But because it's gonna touch a topic that is quite sensitive, which is the people that have passed away, I want people that are okay with the fact that it might not be successful and they might not receive a message that is relevant for them regarding this, like this, because I don't know if it's going to work or not. So I don't want to tell people, yes, I'm going to use these decks and you're going to receive message from your loved ones that passed away, and then it doesn't happen because it doesn't work and because I don't have the abilities to do it and because I'm saying things and it doesn't resonate at all. So I just need to find people that are okay with the fact that it could not be relevant, it could not it could end up in being no messages, or so people that are okay with that. So people that have people that passed away, but they don't care too much if they receive a message or not, and they're not too sensitive about the topic. So just need to find the right people, but this is something I want to try. So this is a deck that I want to use, or two decks that I want to use in combination with each other. So yes, that was the VR. So I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed it, if you are thinking about doing the VR so I can watch it, if you have decks that were in your list as well, anything like this. Just engage in the community. It's always nice to share opinions, to discuss together. So let me know in the comments. Consider liking as well, consider subscribing if you like the content. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.